fix.
Oh, hello. Well, this is Mr. Burns. Smithers, get me my favorite podcast on the line, will you? Mouse and Weens.
Mouse and Weens, and a 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 mouse and Weens, mouse and Weens, and a mouse and Weens, mouse and Weens.
Yay! Here we are.
We're here.
Mouse and Weens. We got a wiener on the left and a mouse on the right.
That's right.
I'm Mouse. I'm Joelle. I'm the mom one down in San Diego. Over here.
I'm Weens. I'm up in LA. Hey, it's my turn.
Sorry, go.
I'm Weens. I'm in LA and I'm a swinging single.
A swinging ween. Watch out, world.
I'm a swinging wiener.
There she is.
Always.
With her curly hair, too. It's very
Can you
cute. See? Yeah, we're on YouTube, you guys. If you want to check it out, we're doing a little
Go to YouTube.
Zoom call, too, as we record. But here we are.
We look very, very beautiful today. So please go to YouTube and see for yourself. Ladies and sirs.
Our last video, I realized I looked a little more like a hobo, so I'm trying to up my game up a tiny bit. This is one notch up, everybody. Lucky you.
We're trying to raise our self-confidence on national television, and it worked. We said, go look at us, we're beautiful. You know, you got to say that to yourself sometimes. Affirm it.
That's right. Beauty is skin deep, I always say.
Yeah. Anyway, so tell us some more stories about your life.
Oh my God. No, I want to catch up with you. I feel like I really haven't talked to you in a long time. You've been knee deep in.
I've been going to a university and taking many classes. I think I'm taking 23 units, 21 now. I've dropped a class.
I'm going to do my best Jack Black impersonation. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. Cuckoo.
It's kind of fun. Have you ever gone to college?
Yeah,
talk amongst yourselves.
It's PTSD for me when I hear about that. I'm going, oh, that was the worst. I just hated that. How are you handling it? Because you're in finals, semifinals, not semifinals.
Midterms, semifinals, halftime. Yes. It's fine. I never finished my degree when I was younger, so I'm doing it now. As we could take a break here during this COVID time, I said, what could I do with free time? I'll finish that degree that's been hanging in the wind.
Good.
So yeah, isn't that interesting? Everyone has different life paths.
I like it.
Mine was artsy, fun.
I know. Film school,
yeah,
acting school, and freewheeling love.
Free wiener wheeling. Hey, what about you? Tell me.
The kids are finally starting school back up. I'm so excited. This has been the talk of the week. So it's been gearing up to this, but there's like a big fight with the school district and the state of California here and the governor and what's allowed and what's not. And San Diego has been in the purple tier. We just got moved to the red tier, I believe. And we petitioned to open schools. And they said no. And then we went above and like over their heads and we opened schools anyway, 1 day a week. And then there was an appeal or something. And now we're going to 2 days a week. So we're kind of like, we have to get our kids back in school. And
really?
Yeah. And so it's happening. So Toby went on Monday. He's the sophomore in high school. So he had his first day back, which was cute. It was like at the start of a new trimester too. So it was all new classes and he was excited. It was sweet. And then Elliot, he starts tomorrow. So he'll be back too. And then we go to 2 days a week. And then, yeah, but then sweet Charlotte wants to stay home and do virtual school and sit on her bed with her kitties. Cause that's how she does class.
Let her do that.
I know. So I'm like, okay, I won't push it. You know, whatever you want to do. And she wants to stick with her sweet teacher, Mr. Shifflet. Shout out.
Mr. Shifflets. I'm so alone.
Julianne, explain your whole thing with him. You guys have this whole
love with him.
Inside world with him. What's going on?
Charlotte and I both love Shifflet because he's emotional and he plays his guitar sometimes. And he'll get a little tear when he talks about the environment and like animals. So then we turned him into a dreamy Schiff and we have little songs like please don't cry if you have a sniff. Call on your favorite man named Mr. Schiff.
Every everything
Everything
rhymes. It's so
Chef.
cute. Yeah. He's great. And the thing that I don't think Charlotte understands is that you don't actually have a crush on him. He's sweet and young and he's this cute hippie guy, but he's engaged and he's fully immersed in his own life.
He's like 25 or something, probably.
Yeah. But she's pretty sure that you and he are going to get married someday. So she's
Really?
trying to like set you up and drop hints and be like, my aunt loves you.
Oh,
You like
really?
camping? She likes camping. No, I don't think she's really, but she's
okay. Good.
She's got big plans somewhere in there. She's gonna drop the bomb on him someday. The love bomb on
She
Shift.
did say you should get a moving truck and move from LA, and you could live here, and then we could be closer to Shifts. Yeah. Anyway. It's so cute
guy. When I worked in the garden with him too, he was super into it. And we're gonna do this whole thing with Earth Day and like
you got to work in the garden with Shifts?
Yeah.
You never told me
Me and
this.
Cameron are like this. Well, I know all the teachers at that school, so they're all very sweet and yeah.
Wow.
So he's a great guy. I would approve of that wedding.
So you got close to him. Did you get a whiff? What was it like to sniff? Mr. Shifts! Sorry.
He probably smelled like you with your patchouli. It was, the
I wear
earthy.
patchouli sometimes. I actually like patchouli. There are many people who call it hippie BO, who hate it. I love it. It reminds me of Berkeley. It reminds me of happy armpits, peaceful pits. You don't like it, do you?
It's too pity for me.
Really? How do you know though? You have no association.
I have you. You've got it on and you've got tall pits. You're 6'1". I'm 5'7". They line up right with the old nasal.
Yeah, but they're beautiful.
Area.
They smell like the natural earth. No?
No. Let's move on. I don't.
Let's find someone who enjoys my smells. Call me.
I know who might.
Here.
You have a certain exterminator that started sniffing around. Speaking of sniffy shiffy, tell me what happened with the rat guys. Okay, go back, everybody who's listening, our dear listeners, go back to the rat episode, Ratty New Year, and you'll hear him. We even got an audio clip of him. And now it's turned into this thing. So tell us, okay, I never heard if the rats went away, if they stayed, what happened?
No, rats will eat. Can I tell you how often? My sister has a song that
we've
you
talked about
always get so bothered. Okay.
It's so dumb. I'll post
Casual
it.
Scoob. Can you just sing it real quick? They have their cat Scooby. She sings a song. Just sing it real quick.
Casual Scoob. Casual Scoob. It's the scoobiest casual cat in town. He lays on a bench with his feet hanging off. He doesn't even care if his feet hang off. No rats will eat the salami off his toes. He's not worried about that. He's Casual Scoob. Casual Scoob. Scoobiest cat on a bench.
You judge that song, but it is catchy.
It's so
that
catchy.
Song is going places.
I do like the song.
Okay, so
I will say
it pops into my head at least once a day, and I'll just be doing the dishes, Casual Scoob, hey! And because I'm always saying no rats, which brings me back to the story of the exterminator. Okay, let me just do the brief version, folks. There was a rat living in my oven. Please, if you know how to cook, come over to my house. Obviously, there was a rat in my oven. I'm not cooking so much these days. But anyway, lived in my oven. I went and I unscrewed the whole oven. A rat jumps out. The landlord guy calls an exterminator rat person. He comes over. He's very interesting. He's a little different. He was talking to himself a lot, walking around the house, setting up these rat traps. And he's going around going, when I hold up my jaw. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And then I was trying to record him and went around the corner and he would be like in different spaces. And it turns out, I said, Patrick, what are you doing? You're talking to yourself? What's happening?
We recorded it. We have the whole thing.
Okay.
That's on our episode.
That's on the episode. Okay. Yeah. So fast forward to, he's supposed to come check the traps, make sure no dead rats. Right. No rats are in the traps. And
so we found out in the interview that he was chanting little Buddhist songs, right? Little
yes,
mantras to himself. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Right.
So then he mentioned his Buddhism, and I said, oh, that's really cool. Wow, lovely. Okay, see you next time you check the traps. And he leaves, and then he sends me, let me just show you on YouTube, folks. Go to YouTube. I get this. The Friendly Rat Man. It's a Buddhist Zoom.
She's holding up her phone. It says, what's love got to do with it? A Zoom meeting.
What's love got to do with Buddhism? And it's got
Buddhism.
sexy lips, like Rocky Horror Picture Show lips.
He wants to explore Buddhist love with you.
Lip love,
Really?
Buddhist style. I have no idea, but I thought that was interesting. And guess what?
What?
I said I was busy. I am doing school. I can't make it. He never picked up his traps. No traps! They're here, and I don't know if he's embarrassed or something, but now I've got rat traps.
Sent you that, wanted that to be your virtual date, right? Did he say explicitly?
I have no idea.
Oh.
He just said, first of all, Juliana. He said, hi, Juliana. Here is a link. I wanted to invite you to a meeting happening later tonight at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Please follow the instructions. Thanks. Hope to see you there.
Ooh, so Buddhist is that a friendly thing or is that a date thing?
It could be friendly. We don't know.
Okay.
But then after I said I couldn't go, now I've got traps everywhere in the attic, all over the house.
Is that bad? You don't know if there's rats in them. You don't want to check them. You think they're empty?
It's the fact that it's been 2.5 months and this should have been done on January 15th.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just stick them outside and have some trap. But that story was so long and pointless.
That's okay. No, I had a point, which was you got asked out by the rat guy, but then
I don't know if it was even asked out.
Well, yeah. These are the things. It's such a weird time to date. This is dating in COVID. You don't know if a Zoom meeting is a date. You don't know if it's just a nice, friendly thing.
At least he's already been in my bedroom.
I know. Looking
he's the only man in my bedroom for a while.
Oh yeah, and then you sent that picture. You finally washed out all of your lingerie rat drawer.
I'm ready.
Good. Okay, you hear that, everybody? She's ready.
Bring your traps over, boys. I'm ready. Lingerie washed, rat free. Yeah. Come on down.
But she didn't have a drying rack for all this delicate lingerie, so she just poured it out over her kitchen floor. And she said it looked like
I was over it.
Madam Kitchen. What did you call it? You had some. It was hilarious.
Crash test dummy.
Yeah,
laundry dummy.
I'll post that picture. It was some sort of yeah.
All right. So let's get to the point.
Get to the point, man, which is exes. So we had our mom on our last episode, and being a patron, we asked her, what subject should we do next? Because as patrons, you guys can choose the topic that we discussed. She picked, I want to hear about your ex-boyfriends, your exes. So we said yes. And we have been collecting all these stories, right? In our mind.
Yeah.
Of all of our exes. So
we also this will all be on the fly.
Yeah, this is going to be on the fly, but we also collected stories from listeners and folks online, and I have them all in front of me. So we can start reading some of theirs and then just kind of play off of that because some of these are great. Candy, he left stuff everywhere. He would leave piles of shit everywhere. He would get super mad if she did anything with it. She'd clean the entire living room, but he had a table of his stuff. He had to leave his stuff there. And his stuff included, she said, magazines, gun parts, change, and it would stay there for months. And I'm like, that's crap my kids do too, but that's a kid thing, right? So
cattle prod.
Have you had the messy ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
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 I think I know which one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you have to, you became the cleaner in the relationship, which for you is different because you were more of the cluttered one, maybe. You've changed though. You've grown up. But in the old days, you were more like, that's my pile. I know where everything is. And you were.
Blake came over though, and I said, my place is kind of like organized, right? And pretty clean. And he goes, he's like, what's all that? It's like, those are all my plants. I put all my plants on one table, which is the dining room table, to absorb the sun.
Yeah.
So it's just a table full of plants.
It's functional.
Which drove him crazy.
You're in a moment of just being quick and functional right now because you're in
Yes.
school.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Forgive.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of my exes. They were all pretty clean. I don't think I had any real messy, gross exes. I did
Really?
date this one guy in college who he was just messy when he'd get drunk. There was that. He would he I don't think I've told this story on the podcast. I know you know it. But one night he got so wasted.
Was this Trusty?
No. This is asshole.
Asshole Dave.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah. He
Other Dave.
He was a surfer, super cute, and I was just like, woo! I was over the moon about this guy. But he would get drunk with his buddies. One night he came home. I think we were out together, and he passed out or something. Middle of the night, he wakes up, and I can hear him shuffling around the room, shuffling in this corner, shuffling in that corner, and I realize, and he's kind of mumbling, talking to himself, and I'm like, what is he doing? I'm a really light sleeper. I see that he's starting to try to whip it out, and he's trying to like pee somewhere, and he's in the hallway right outside of his room. And so I take him by his shoulders, like his pants are already down. I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, dude, over here. And like, I push him into the bathroom and I aim him toward the toilet. I think I even might've had to hold it to get it going in the toilet. And so he finished in the toilet and then, goes back to sleep. Next morning we wake up, we go downstairs to get coffee, have a bagel. His roommates are down there, all these surfers in this cool old house in La Jolla. And I sit down on the couch and there's the coffee table and TV and a couple guys sitting around eating, drinking. And there's a bowl in the middle of the coffee table and it's got water in it. And I hear this drip, drip. And I'm going, what is this bowl of water? And the guy's like, oh yeah, we came home last night and there's like a leak from the ceiling of stuff coming down. It was all over the remote. It was on the magazines on the table. It was his urine that had soaked from the hallway above and gone through the walls, through the floor, dripping down the chandelier and onto the coffee table.
I thought you directed him into the toilet. So he hit.
Well, yeah, but I missed the first half of his urine, which he was pissing in the corner in the hallway. He thought he was near a toilet or something.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah. So that
Yuck.
was disgusting. The surfer house with like pee dribble. And I didn't want anyone to know that they had just touched everything with piss on it. So I just didn't say anything. And I'm like, we got to go. And then I told him after, I'm like, you peed, that was your pee. And he was like,
oh my
no.
God.
Yeah.
Those old houses. Watch it.
Yeah. So
Eesh.
that was
a
lasting
That's a
memory.
messy wiener.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay. Michelle says, my ex used to play helicopter with his stuff. So, because I thought that kind of stuff stopped at puberty, but I guess not. Now, I kind of like it. I kind of think it's funny. What do you think?
Does Dave do it?
I can't say it like regularly, but sometimes there's been like a fast little move or a dance that's real funny. Right?
Yeah, like a Superman pose with a little.
Yeah, or just like a.
Anyone? That was a weird pause. Sorry. Jeez, forget it.
No.
That never happened.
Well, it's that thing of all our friends probably listen. No. Ooh, that looks like the urine in the bowl. Is that what you're drinking? No, the same boyfriend. This is what I was getting to. The surfer guy, he apparently spent a lot of time alone in his room. And one time he told me, he goes, I got to show you this thing I taught myself how to do. It's really cool. I'm like, okay, what was it? And, I think we were like laying there. And so he was naked and he was getting dressed. And he stood up at the edge of the bed. He's like, watch this, watch this. And he got out his boxers and he held them really wide open. And with both feet at the same time, he jumped into his boxers to show me that was the trick. He had spent numerous hours teaching himself how to jump into his underwear with both feet at a time in case of emergency, he said, in case he ever had to like get up really fast and like move quickly. And all I remember though was his junk, like whapping when he jumped into his underwear.
This is such a weird story.
I know.
Like an
But
egg drill? Like
yeah,
that was a big accomplishment, but can't most people jump?
try
at the
it
same
right now. Go ahead, stand up, trying to jump into your underwear with both feet.
I would, except this whole thing will fall apart. I've got the rigs there. If you saw what's happening, I have the microphone balancing with jeans holding it down. And then it's on my artist sketchbook on top of a box hanging on a pillow.
She's
I can't
talking about
breathe.
her microphone, her computer. She's sitting on her bed
Oh.
though. So we need to get you a proper little recording desk or something, right? But the lighting is nice there. And it's a soft room. You look
Thank you.
beautiful. It's all worth it.
Thanks. You look gorgeous. Next.
So no reaction. Whoops.
I love you.
Didn't you love that asshole Dave jumping into his underwear with both feet? That was my best story. That's all I get.
I don't
You're
understand.
a tough crowd, man. I'm gonna stick with being the Robin that laughs at your stories because my stories all
Wait,
suck.
but I don't understand. He just jumped into his underwear. Did the underwear come up automatically? Or
He's
did it
holding
just sit
it
there on
down
the
at
floor?
the floor with his two hands, making the leg holes really big, and then he jumps in with both feet at the same time. Now imagine a fully grown, cute surfer guy standing there butt naked, holding his underwear down by the floor and jumping in with both feet at a time. It's hilarious. No?
Is it funny or is it just weird?
It's weird, but it's funny because then his dingle dangle just flaps while he's
Okay,
jumping
well the
in.
ding got
That's all I
it.
can
Okay. I
remember.
wasn't
But I just
I didn't
remember
know if we're
going,
focusing on the wiener or the boxers.
why would a pre-med UCSD student spend all this time learning how to jump into his underwear when he probably should be studying? I think it was just a big distraction.
I don't get how tough this is that you would just
Okay,
you just
Everyone take a break right now. Push pause. I'd like you to
Okay, I'm
stick-
gonna do it in the background. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone take off. Oh God. I'm gonna have to learn how to draw a big black screen thing on this this recording. All right, she's gonna do it. Oh, she just left. All right, let's hear a word from our sponsor. We are sponsored by Dream Dinners. Go to dreamdinners.com and enter Mouse and Weens 99 at checkout if you're in the local area of Poway or San Marcos, and you will get $99 off your first order and free delivery if you choose it, or you can go pick it up. It is such a game changer, you guys. Dream Dinners has really changed our family mealtime. We make meals together, we sit down together. I feel confident that they're healthy foods, and the kids can even make them. My husband can make them. It's a really fun, wonderful service. I've been using it for 3 years, and I finally approached them and said, let's make this a business arrangement because I talk about you all the time anyway. So here we are. You save an average of $200 a month off your grocery bill if you sign up for Dream Dinners, which isn't a subscription service. It really is a ad hoc. You can choose it monthly. Whenever you want to stop, you can stop. So there's no subscription. You only have to come in and pick up your meals once a month or have them delivered, but you will get a good bunch of meals in your freezer that you can thaw out and use as you see fit. This is perfect for people who have likes, dislikes, and allergies, and you can insert special instructions for your meals. And it really will change your lifestyle. You guys, please do go try it, mouseandweens.com. We have a quick link to give you your $99 off, or you can go to dreamdinners.com, choose your location. They are nationwide. And if you are in our local area, enter Mouse and Weens 99 and get free delivery and $99 off your first order. Okay, and now we're going to hear from our friends at the Podfix Network. Podfix. Okay, there we go. Podfix. Check it out. Podfixnetwork.com. Okay. I have to give you a visual. Oh, you didn't do it. Did you do it? Okay, maybe they were higher up.
Maybe, because that doesn't make, I mean.
Yeah, I think they were like jumping into a little hoop.
Was
like
that pretty
knees.
Eloquently that I did that though?
Yeah, but I couldn't see your feet. How do I know you didn't just step in?
You didn't?
I think you cheated. Did you really jump in with both feet at exactly the same time?
Well, I mean, the heel caught the lip of the boxer.
See? He perfected it. He got it to where that didn't happen. They were both slipping at the same time.
It's so dumb. I just don't. That is beautiful. I love this.
I know.
And so his wiener just did a little doop bloop bloop.
Yep. This guy
Now, was it exciting? Did it make you say, "Ooh, this is the guy for me"?
No, I just thought it was hilarious and weird. Like, why would he spend all his time doing this? This same guy is now a doctor married with kids in, I think in Hawaii. So
wow.
Little do his
was he an
patients know.
egomaniac?
He cheated on me. That part sucked.
Oof.
He kissed a girl
dude
at a 4th of July party and then came back in the fall and told me. He was the same one that we were at a concert and he left for a while. And I was standing there just watching the band. This was an on-campus concert. And some dude came up to me.
The band was the Sugar Cubes.
No.
Pearl Jam.
No. It was probably like Toad the Wet Sprocket or some sort of college-y band.
I was trying to use my intuition. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty good. But some dude came up to me and said, he was like, hey, you know, what's your name? And da-da. And by that time, the boyfriend had come back and he was standing on my other side. Meanwhile, this guy's talking to me over here. And I'm like, oh, blah, 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 you know, small talk. But then he said something suggestive, like, well, you're cute. Would you ever want to go get a beer or something like that? And I go, my boyfriend's right here. And he looked and he goes, that guy? I thought that was just your friend. He was just in the bar, like totally like suggestively hugging this other girl. I thought he was with her. And I was like, what? And then after the fact, you know, months later, at the time I confronted him, he's like, no, I didn't do anything. Or no, he said he saw him kissing someone. So then, yeah. And months later, it turned out he was a cheater, McCheaterson.
Unfaithful.
I know. So that was the one time that happened that really broke my heart. That was a hard one.
Can people change is the question. Do you think he's still a cheater? I wonder.
I didn't look that one up. I do have some good factoids for us later about breakups, but
all right, let's go to the next question. Don't we have about 45 of these?
We have lots of stories, yeah. Do you want to read one?
Sure.
Got the same little sheet.
Okay. Christina, Khrystyna. Christina.
Important detail. Yes.
I don't mind sharing here. I dated a terrible, in all caps, guy for 3 years. He hated when I had my, sorry, I missed a word. He hated when I had my hair in a ponytail. He said I would dress lesbian. Like, what even is that? People dress how they like. And if I got a margarita at dinner, I would get an earful of alcoholism because when he was 15, he had to get a stomach pump because he, caps, was an alcoholic. Ugh, terrible. I could go on about his terrible behavior, but I'll end with when I was leaving him, I was working out and losing weight. And he said somebody else gets to have a skinny, happy Christina. And he got the fat, sad one. Like, wow. The audacity. Sheesh. Never fear. I'm engaged to my best friend now. And that psycho ex is married to some unknowing lady. I'm sure she will figure it out eventually. Boom! My leg.
She just mic dropped her phone on her own leg. Ow. Yeah, dude, that got me. I was like, who dare say that? How would you feel? Oh, you're losing weight. I got the fat version of you, and now you're gonna go off and be skinny with some new guy. That's so mean. That's so awful.
So mean. Who would ever say that?
Horrible. So she dodged a bullet with that one.
Yes, for sure.
We
hate this guy. Whoever. I wish she would say his name so we could call him out. Yeah. And
all right. What about you? Do you have any exes that just a mean like exit thing that they did? Like that sucks. Like, those last
one who was trying tough love. He was trying to break me, and he was trying anything he could to like he wanted to get to my inner core. And then he said, like, when I look at you, your face makes me want to throw up, and you're one of the. What did he say? He goes, yeah, just I remember that. Your face makes me want to vomit.
Oh my God.
And then later I was like, I broke up with him, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, that's some of the meanest shit I've ever heard.
What?
We talked after, and he was like, well, I was just trying something different that would like actually get to you, because you have such a, you know,
Dude,
whatever.
give me his number right now. Big sister has some words to share with him, because that's fucking awful.
And then he was like, those are just words. Think about all the things that you did. I'm like,
Oh my God.
But it was much more than that. I'll just say that part. But yeah.
Ugh.
Isn't that mean? And it was
So
like
mean.
devastating at the time.
Yeah.
It was really hurtful.
Yeah.
But
That's horrible. I know these guys probably say things and do things they don't really know in the moment. No, but that you know in the moment. The same surfer guy, boy, I'm really hung up on him. He grabbed my fat when I was bent over in the shower shaving my legs. He like grabbed my belly and he was like, and I'm like, I was like, what are you doing? And I like stood up and like covered myself. And he was like, I'm sorry. I had to see what it felt like. And I'm like, oh, and I've always after that, like turned away and never shown anyone my like, bend over fat. Cause it's like that stuff gets in your head and you're just like, oh, I know. And he like laughed. He thought it was no deal, but yeah, I know.
But he was like, he had a hot body, right? So he was probably, was he trying to be jerky?
I don't.
You have a hot body though. What is it?
Okay, but it's just like that's always been my trouble spot. Listen to my cool sculpting episode. But yeah, when I bend over, but when anybody bends over, right? Unless you happen to be like super skinny skin stomach. But yeah, that's where my baby
it's
blanket
called being human, folks. Being human. Who cares?
Fuck off. That's why he's asshole, Dave. We don't like him. Yeah. All right, we have one more quick story that someone wrote in, and this one comes from Dave at the Airwolf Years. Okay, so the Airwolf Years. This is a podcast. Do you like when I flip my papers? I know you don't.
I said, do you want to do it on your phone? And you said, no, I like to touch the papers because I like to hear when people are moving their papers.
Sometimes I like it. I feel like a real news person when you hear papers flipping around.
Do you want me to make a noise?
Nice.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Dave at the Airwolf Years. So I put a thing out saying, hey guys, we're looking for stories about exes. And he wrote, an ex-girlfriend of mine ended up on the TV show Intervention. And I was like, what? And I go, oh my gosh, was that a surprise? Or is that why you guys broke up? He said it was a total shock. We had been broken up for a bit. Another buddy sent me the link to her episode, which actually explained a lot of her behavior toward me over the year or so prior to my finding out. You love that show, right? Intervention.
I love Intervention. Yeah.
I think I've seen all of them, at least like the first chunk of them.
You?
Yeah. I got into it too. Dave and I watched it back in the day, back when we were watching the Dr. Drew, rehab.
That surprises me that you'd be into it, but I guess it was very dramatic.
Yeah.
And that was like reality shows were maybe newer.
Yeah. And so I think I saw this one because I go, whoa, that's good that at least it explained the behavior. So what was her vice? How did you guys break up? And he said, he said the breakup was mutual. It was a few years prior to her ending up on the show. But then the messages and the emails started coming in. They were really verbally aggressive toward him. She was calling his character into play and how he was unsupportive of her, despite that he didn't even see her for years. And it wasn't until after he watched her episode did he realize what the hell was really behind the messages. And he said she was on the show for inhalants, namely the keyboard cleaner. Remember the huffer?
Oh shit, she was super popular.
Yeah, the huffer. He was with
the duster, computer duster. Yeah.
So, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw that episode. Is that the one? Or were there a lot like that? I'm sorry you went through that. And he goes, I'm pretty sure that was it. And I'm like, holy moly. So there you go, you guys. Mad props to Dave.
She was
from the Airwolf Years because he went through that with her.
Sorry. She's now a spokesperson for anti-drugs, and she's totally turned her life around, and she's out speaking to schools. And yeah.
How do you know that?
Because they do like, where are they now?
Oh, how funny.
And she's doing great, but hers was, she was even laughing at herself. So I feel like I could laugh too, but she was like kicking the police and like screaming. They threatened to take her cats because that was the only thing she cared about. And then she was like, down with the popo, like out of her mind. I just remember it was like, I think that's why it was so popular. It was so dramatic, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there
wow, that was her.
Yeah. It's a little celebrity story kind of. There was one other one too that we didn't hit. And this was from Erin. She wrote in that she was in a toxic relationship for 3.5 years. Her ex was a narcissist, had a problem with drugs and alcohol. The relationship was very abusive, both mentally and emotionally. She couldn't do anything with anyone. She always had to be by his side. She had to wear certain clothes that he liked. And basically her life had to revolve around him. But he'd go on these binges. He'd get super angry or he'd go missing. And she finally got out of that relationship and she's happily engaged to her soulmate.
Thank God. Oh
So,
my gosh. That
that's
is an awful one.
Kooky, narcissists out
Control.
there too.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
So I love the happy endings where they get away from these lunatics and into something nice.
And they find their people. So there we go.
And those lunatics, by the way, those narcissists, you know, I did the deep dive on these people. They just keep doing it their whole life, but they usually a lot of them end up doing their same behavior, like very few change, but then they'll find them like in a nursing home trying to like run their racket. And they're usually just worn down because a lot of times they're alcoholic drug addicts because they're always trying to like, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Control. Weird.
It's kind of a night, like a demise ending.
Yeah. Well, maybe in a future episode, we can talk about love fraud too, because that plays right into that. And we watched that. We binged that. It's only 4 episodes, but it was great.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. David.
What'd you think?
Oh, so good. But let's talk about it in the future. I'll kind of outline it and we can talk about it because
good.
That's so. Okay. Lisa says on the way home from the hospital after giving birth, and it was a C-section, to her beautiful, perfect daughter, her now ex-husband turned and looked at her and said, "When will you stop looking pregnant?" And he also used to get angry with the way she loaded the dishwasher, like all that petty shit, right? Which I guess all of us maybe do. I'm like, I don't love how my family loads the dishwasher either, now that we're saying it. But she says, happy ending. She divorced and remarried, and she's found the love of her life, much sweeter, more loving, more emotionally in tune with himself and others, very handsome. So
yay, success.
It's nice when you hear the follow-up, right? After these breakups, that there's someone great out there. So people who are stuck right now and feeling like they're never going to find anyone or they're too old, we know more and more people who find the love of their life the second time around. And it's all good.
Or
right? So,
5th or 15th. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. How's your friend group? Are you guys all pretty well matched up or mostly single, or do you have friends in divorce situations or?
Yeah, all over the place. Yeah, a lot of good, married, solid, love their partner ones. And then, I don't have anyone who's currently getting a divorce. So probably single people and married people mostly.
Yeah. I know. It's so hard. There's some that have already gotten divorced. There's some in the middle of it. Some
and then are they people?
Like thinking.
So
wondering. It runs a gamut there too, where it's like,
are these people that was their like second or third boyfriend and they were married 20 years kind of folks? Because that's most of your friends, right?
Yeah, it's mostly people who have started families together and then realize maybe it's not the greatest. Maybe this is not a great match as we mature, but then you stay together for the kids, or do you break up now because the kids need to see mom or dad happy and get what they want and not be treated this way or whatever is going on. So it's tough, dude. It's really tough. And but I did pull up some stuff on that.
I do know a few. Okay, go ahead.
No, go. You go.
My few people were probably from a few years ago, but I happened to have like 3 or 4 guy friends who were talking about, and they were people that, like I had known for years and years and years. So, but same. And it was, what was my point? Oh, they all wanted to get out of their marriages, but then they said there's too much to untangle. Even ones without kids were saying, oh, just the finances. We just have everything shared. Oh, and then, well, I like that one brother of hers. And well, got that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but you complain all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's easier for a single person to be like, just leave. Why would you stay?
Right. Until everything is tangled up. Well, it probably is like daunting. It's almost like when you live in a house that you've been in for 20 years and all your shit's in every closet, and just the thought of having to pack up and move and like change addresses and do all the new stuff and maybe find a new job. It's like a whole life change. So it's just easier to stay in the old house, and you just,
so is it
I'll deal with it someday.
Is it the fear of?
It's probably fear and work. Like, yeah,
So
fear of being alone. The work involved in breaking up and having to untangle all that stuff, the finances, filing a divorce, you know, all the lawyer fees, and, you know, what's going to happen with that. Yeah, I can't imagine. Or someone who maybe has been, you know, not the financial person the whole time, like their spouse dealt with all the money stuff. And so they would have to learn a whole new skill set and deal with their own finances finally. Like, that's probably scary for people. Get dependent on each other. It's crazy. Yeah,
I want to know how to do everything by myself.
Yes, you do.
Because
and
then,
yeah, you're very self-sufficient. I think that's good. But you could easily partner up and be good there too. But I think you would probably always keep your independence no matter what, huh? That's a question.
I think it would be, that's a question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it is good to know how to handle yourself, and then you come together without a whole lot of dependence in that way. But then it would be lovely to be dependent in a healthy way.
Yes. She's blowing kisses at the camera. I think that was her dating profile she just filmed. Good for
All right,
us.
let's get to another one.
All right. Okay, wait, I wanted to kind of go through, I pulled up some fun lists and articles and stuff like that. So I thought this would be neat to see if you relate to any of these. Okay, let's talk about breakups, types of breakups. All right, the mutual breakup. Have you had a mutual breakup where you both decide, you know what, we're better apart?
I don't know, probably not. Have you?
Yeah, I don't know if there really can be one. Usually someone's got to instigate it, and someone's probably hurt more than the other, right?
Yeah, for me, it always is some weird ending that's back and forth, or kind of partially can't let go or leave, but then try to get back in the door a little, and, you know,
Yeah,
like a half hump here and there. Just a quick
friends
old rabbit.
Post hump, breakup hump. Yeah. Well, I know. I guess there's that too. Or what about long distance? Have you done that? Well, we'll get to that. That's one of them. Yeah, that's the logistical breakup. Long distance. After living on opposite coasts, you know, the communication breaks down. So your day-to-day won't change much, but I guess having that person would. You've done that before. You've had long distance stuff, right?
Have I? Maybe.
Didn't you? New York? You're a New York guy? Or no?
Did I stay? I didn't really have anyone real in New York. I dated. That was my first real dating experience. Oh, I had some doozies.
Wait,
some weirdos. Okay, here's one. I have two, but I'll do one. His name was Jimmy LaSpola, right? Okay. And he really was one of those guys. I was doing cater waitering with Cipriani, which is the fancy restaurant guys. So they do all these fancy parties. But one of them was like out, you know, in the Hamptons, and it was the guy who owned the company that did like all these crazy blow up carnival things in someone's backyard. It was like a $4 million. No, I shouldn't say that. It was like a $500,000 party.
Wow.
I don't need to go too big. It's unrealistic, but some of these bar mitzvahs, fact check, were like $1 million was average for a bar mitzvah. And we would go to, what is with my mouth? We would go to the Wall Street building. Why am I saying World Trade Center when it's this old stock exchange building on Wall Street? That's what it was. There would be a lot of fancy parties. Anyway, Jimmy LaSpola was the owner of this fancy, like, whatever, entertainment company that provides all these like real high-end carnival things that I don't know, whatever. And then somehow I got to talking with him at the end of the night. I'd always take little sips of the champagne through the evening. And by the end, we were talking, and he was like a total, hey, Jimmy LaSpola. Like he really
Well,
was
yeah.
this
A
guy.
name like that.
Yeah.
But was it cute? Like, why were you?
Kind of, yeah. He was like burly. He was like a man's man New Yorker. I'm like, well, this will be nice for an experience. I'll try to go out on a date with this guy because just for the experience. Look at I get all nervous. And so I remember he picked me up and he was like, I'm going to show you the sights in New York. And then he took me to, he's like, you know Scorsese? It's like, yeah. He goes, all right, we're going to go to Mulberry Street. I'm going to show you where his mother hangs out. And then we went to Mulberry Street. And he goes, and he pointed out, okay, now this is kind of a vague memory because it was 20 years ago or something, but he either pointed out John Gotti in that restaurant or he said, this is where John Gotti goes. And I didn't know who he really was at that time. So it didn't register if I saw him or not, but Scorsese's mom also, I don't know if she was in there. I can't remember, except that was the place where they all went. So it was a pizza shop on Mulberry Street.
Oh my God.
And so we went there. I think something happened with John Gotti. I swear to God, I think that we either saw him sitting in there and he pointed him out, but it was more than just a story. Scorsese's mom was just a story. Like she hangs out there. Okay. But I think Gotti was in there. I think. Because it rings more to be like, oh, I met him. And then later I find out who he really was. And I was like, oh shit. And you know who he is, right? He was
the one with the tax evasion they finally got and put in jail, right? And he had the sons that had that reality show, right?
I guess. I don't know about the reality show, but yeah, John Gotti was like the Al Capone of the mid-90s or late 90s.
Crime family. The whole thing. Yeah,
crazy.
Wow.
So anyway, and then something I remember, he took me to some other place. We had to go through the Holland Tunnel and he was talking about the tunnel. And then somehow, and boys, we all know what you're doing, somehow he showed me his new line of lotions he was launching and said, let me give you a quick shoulder rub with the lotions.
And you took it?
Well, yeah, at that point it was kind of like, we've been driving around all day.
Tommy Lasorda, whatever. Wait,
Jimmy LaSpola.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy LaSpola.
Tommy Lasorda. He's like a sports guy or something, right?
He's like 85. I like old balls.
He's old baseball
guy. His old baseballs. Yeah, Tommy Lasorda was not him, but I'll take a massage from him too if he's still alive or dead. But yeah, so this guy, so we ended up doing the old massagey shoulder rub with the lotions. And then I got nervous because I realized I was somewhere far away from my place and we were somewhere in like his house. And I'm like, oh, this could go bad because I didn't want to do anything with him. Yeah. And then I'm like, this guy could kill me. I immediately had this thought that he might be tied into the mob because of everything we had just gone through. I was like, who is this guy? I know nothing about him. He owns this big company.
You've seen too much. You spotted John Gotti.
I've seen too much. He's taking me to, yes, it was a whole, and he was kind of like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, don't ask too many questions. So I remember just going, wow, I'm going to buy some of that lotion. Let's go.
Sold. Can I go home?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I got out of there. That's drove me home. And then I think I phased that one out. Nervous. But it was all about the experience because I have a tendency to get into trouble because I want to just try everything once.
See?
I'm like, this is a crazy old school New Yorker, like kind of scary, weird guy. So let's try that.
The adventure. Anyway. You want the adrenaline, the whole like story.
Well, and the New York experience with a guy named Jimmy LaSpola showing me things.
And then you get like story ideas. You're writing screenplays and all that.
My whole life has been gathering stories that go nowhere, ladies and gentlemen.
They go to Mouse and Weens. Thank you very much. We are the pinnacle.
They go to Mouse and Weens. They're also going to a screenplay competition that we are doing with our good friend Phil Rude. The Phil in Austin, his son, have a show. The
picture show
with
Austin and Phil Rude. Yep, you got it. You got it.
I hate setting things up because I say everything wrong.
And you're like, shit.
You set up the other guys too.
Yeah, and then
That's why I make Joe do all of them because I get named. I get it always.
It's all right. I'm more in this world. I'm doing all the social media. It's the Pop-Up Filmcast guys, with whom we did an episode already, but they are doing this whole screenplay competition too. So Keith and Derek, and then I don't know if they asked others to. We'll find out. We're going to meet soon and record and then do this whole contest. So you guys will hear a lot more about it in the future.
And it's with a lot of other people. It's not just theirs, but they're affiliated with it.
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's exciting. It's the first time I've read it.
And we were on, forgive my cutting off, but we were on their show, Pop-Up Filmcast.
That's right.
And Mouse and Weens was a special guest.
Yes.
Go check it out.
A fun episode with them called Gwar.
Horn
All Spare and Love and Gwar.
So good. They are so great. We love these guys.
Improv. It was really fun.
And so is Phil and Austin. We love them too.
Absolutely. Okay. So good New York dating story. I like that. It was not long distance. You were just over in New York. We have other kinds of breakups. The never saw it coming breakup. That's the hardest one, where you think everything's fine and then bam, out of the blue, it's over. This one's hard to process. I agree. This happened with me with current hubby.
What?
We broke up the time before we got back together. I thought he was ring shopping. I've told the story before in our love stories episode, but he just out of the blue decided he needed to break up, be on his own, figure out what he was doing with his life, go to law school. He had to get all his ducks in a row. But then after the fact, I find out he had met somebody else that gave him the tingly feelings. And so he was like, well, this isn't good.
She played the flute.
Yeah. He didn't want to cheat. So he broke up with me, which I guess was nice. But man, you were there for that whole breakup, Weens, and that was ugly. Do you remember? I
was in La Jolla in San Diego, and you were very sad every day.
Yeah.
Did I do a good job?
You did. You were a great counselor, a great confidant, a great picker-upper. Yeah. And you let me just tell the same story over and over again about how sad I was. Blah. And you kept saying, if it's meant to be, he'll come back. If it's meant to be, he'll come back. And lo and behold, 2 years later, I got a call. And then I got a ring.
And it was meant to be.
And we were back together. Yeah. It was crazy.
And the good thing about this is then, and I remember feeling this way then, but if they go off and do their thing, then they come back and they're solid.
Yes. So solid. And appreciative.
Like, okay, I did that. Yeah.
And realizing it wasn't meant to be at that time. And he had to go sow his wild oats and go to law school and figure out what he wanted to do, and feel like then he could come back and support a marriage and be with someone that understood him. No one else got it. No one else had a good sense of humor or could it wasn't a good fit. The chemistry thing is huge. So dude, I'd never wish that on anybody though. That was so hard to go through. I really feel like that was almost more of a loss than like our own father dying. I really felt like so much more distraught and, you know,
what is that?
I don't know, grieving the whole loss of it. 'Cause it's just so everything. You put so much hope and dreams on this person, and, you know, it was tracking, you know, we met at the right time. And if I plan this right, we get married, then I can have kids and I'll still be kind of young. And like everything was lined up, and I just kind of had that dream, and then blam, broke up out of the blue.
What did it teach you?
That I don't have control, that I can't control people or life. And you have to roll with what comes and realize that there's a big picture, there's a big plan. Someone else has got this under control. The universe, Mother Nature, God, whatever. And
did that help you?
It took after it took a retrospective look, I think, you know, after we got back together and had the kids in the life. And then I look back and go, oh, I was devastated, but it turned out okay. So I don't know. And then all these stories too, people breaking up, but then saying, but then I met the best guy ever. So, you know, yeah, it works out.
Okay, let's do another story. That's great though. I mean, if it teaches you, here's what I didn't mean to lead you, but if it teaches you to have less control, I know that that's probably serving, especially in your life.
Shut up.
She had control issues.
Okay,
you're so much better. I just want to say, congratulations.
I didn't know I was that bad, but no, I know. Thank you. I know. That was always my vice. I like control. I'm a type A. What can I say? I'm a firstborn. Who knows? An Aries. It all lines up.
Yep.
All right. We are going to listen to a fun clip that was sent to us by Chad Broadbreaker. He is with the Perfect Package podcast and his new podcast, which is called Down to Folk. And he's also with the Podfix Network, and he's hilarious. He's a fun guy. And
he's a perfect package.
He is. I know. They have a great show. He and Dave is his co-host. And he comes from our same circles of growing up in the Bay Area. So you guys were talking shop back in the day about our punk rock episode and the whole thing. All right. But he sent a funny story. He typed it up, but then he recorded it. So I'm just going to play it. I hope my mic can pick this up, but we'll put it in post. All right. Ready? Here we go.
Hey, Mouse and Weens, long-time listener, first-time caller. It's Chad from the Perfect Package podcast and Down to Folk right here on the Podfix Network, podfixnetwork.com. I wanted to tell you a story about my ex, a wonderful woman, married to her for 10-ish years. She was, as they say, guano insane. I got divorced from her. And, well, it's not a great story, but I just wanted to say that, not all exes are bad. I envy her somewhat because, some people search their entire lives for their soulmate. And she found two in about 6 months. So God bless her for that. No, I mean, seriously, it's fine. I'm remarried. She's remarried twice since we've been divorced, but it's fine. It's fine. It's convenient. It's always a good thing when you get divorced and get remarried within a few months but definitely weren't cheating at all. No. And then it's also convenient when you get divorced another time and don't have to move far. You can just take your stuff next door. That's always super convenient. So kudos to her for, having such a convenient love life. But I digress. After I got divorced, though, this is a fun story. I went crazy with dating. And so I guess I'm the crazy ex. No, it got to the point where I would have a first date with someone and we would go out to dinner, and then I would have to call my friends and we would meet somewhere so they could meet who I was on a date with, because I needed adult supervision when it came to my dating choices after my marriage. Yeah. I like to think of myself as a good, clean, wholesome Christian boy. But, after I got divorced, I went a little kooky. I dated a tattoo artist and a dominatrix, but that's another story for another time. But no, I had to get adult supervision when it came to my dating life. And, I couldn't be trusted. But it all worked out in the end. I met a lovely, lovely woman. And she's crazy, but, I love her. And she loves me, which is probably why I think she's crazy. Thanks for letting me share with you guys.
Yay.
Yay, Chad. I love that. Oh my God. That's so interesting. I want to have follow-up time with him.
Well, we're going to be on his show.
Dominatrix and a tattoo artist.
Yeah. He has us on his show coming up too. So we'll be on the Perfect
That's right.
Package.
Next weekend we're recording.
Soon. Yes. So watch
What's it called? They're going to cut you off. I apologize.
That's okay. The Perfect Podcast. The Perfect Package Podcast. Lots of P's. Got to get your pop stopper out for that one. But yeah. It's so true though. With you hear like what happens after you break up with a crazy one, and you're kind of going like, whoosh, dodged a bullet. I don't know. Mine were all pretty vanilla, but you had a couple doozies, didn't you?
Yeah, it was after same thing. He was saying, "Can you pull your pop stopper?" Speaking of which, about an inch away from your mic. Yours is like right up against it, right?
Yeah. Is that not good?
You have to give it more space, and I'll stop it. I love you. Yeah, I think it was the same thing after the long relationship ended. I did not care. It was the brokenhearted, do not care, I'll try whatever at this point, just for a while, just kind of frivolous. Well, there was a nice guy around there too, but I won't mention that. He's in a relationship now. He might not want to be mentioned, but anyway, there was a Fast Eddie in there, a Zoom motorcycle guy who was also owned a weed dispensary and had a bunch of weed in his warehouse. Fast Eddie, folks, Fast Eddie, jerk. There was also one called,
he
who
kind
else
of dropped out of the blue too. Like you thought things were fine, and then one day it was like,
nothing was fine. And that thing, there was no depth at all. It was just, but I was trying my hand at like, I'll try to be really open and vulnerable, but secretly all I was choosing were guys that I thought were cute.
Yeah.
And trying it out, and I knew it would never work. And I had the Hungarian bicyclist, that was the other one, who called me the other day. He's in my phone as blank what I am doing here, because he was like an Austrian nihilist who was always like, I don't know, what am I doing here in the United States? It's so stupid. Americans are so stupid. What I am doing here.
What I am doing here.
Yeah. And he calls like once a year and checks in, and
oh my God,
makes no sense. And I never call him back, but
really,
he was a nice enough guy. He was just ridiculous, okay, let me just play the message.
Okay.
What I am doing here. Okay.
She's typing her phone. There we go.
Hello, Miss Julianne. Miss Julianne. Miss Julianne. Hello, Miss Julianne.
That's it. So I haven't talked to this guy. Once a year he'll call and leave some. Last time it was like cats. Oh, yeah. Ding dong. Bah, bah, bah. Just makes no sense. And I never pick up the phone. It's been 5 years.
Ding dong guy. I love it.
Anyway.
Well, that's fun.
He was a decent enough guy, but he was nuts,
Yeah. Good. Well, keep him coming.
There was that. There were a few others. I won't go into all the details, but there was some. I was trying in 25-year-olds. There's never mind.
I know.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Well, when does it go from being a date to a boyfriend? And then when does it go from we're not going to go on another date to being like a breakup? Is there a line when?
I think all of mine are not traditional, or not with these types of guys.
Yeah. Do you have the talk of like, okay, let's be monogamous? And
no.
Yeah, see, I always did. No.
Yeah, but you were traditional, and those were people probably a little. There's the frivolous, like all of a sudden you're like, hey, I guess we're doing this, and you're here all the time. Yeah. And that's what I think when you're numb to love, that's what happens sometimes. And then you just end up, and then it's usually you're matching the energy of whatever situation you're in. So if you're in a place where you're totally closed-hearted but just doing stuff, then you're gonna find someone else who's like,
Yeah.
I think it's total like energy. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. I agree with that. I think
and if it's not, one's always trying to struggle to get the other one to
there's never that straight up balance. It always feels like somebody likes someone else more, or is more vulnerable, is more fearful. Ugh, it's so hard. It's so hard to match
Aren't
up.
you happy you're not out dating?
So happy. Although there were a few that were great, and the first long-term boyfriends were wonderful, but it was all at a different time in my life. Like it just wasn't right timing, even though they were great people. That sounds so.
I had a lot of those.
It's me. It's
too.
not you. It's me. So dumb, but it was true.
No.
And they're all often married and happy now, and we're all friendly.
So good. I want to point out that I have a few of those too. Yeah. Not to cut off your story, but just to say that there were some very nice guys in there.
Yeah.
I won't name any names, but you know who you are. There were lovely people that just it didn't work out for whatever reason. Like, and you have
a good ability to stay friends with these people too. And
a lot of them are still buddies. A lot. I was not a harlot. Jeez, there were a few, and a lot of them are.
It's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I did want to go over this last little piece because I think I said I would talk about this. This was kind of cute. Types of boyfriends and what we learn from them. Types of ex-boyfriends. Okay, so there's the crazy ex. What he teaches you. Overly attached guys aren't romantic. They're crazy and they should be avoided. Can we agree with that? You have some crazies in there?
I don't think I ever had the attached ones. Did you?
I had the crush. I looked back up, who then went a little crazy and sent flowers and like notes and da 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 da. And I had to block him. I had to get my boss to like put up a firewall.
He went and did coke in the bathroom and came out with a bloody coke nose.
Yeah, it was
that
not
was her
pretty.
lover in high school. Or you?
I had the biggest crush on him. Biggest crush on him, and I looked him up on Friendster. It was so long ago. It was before Facebook or anything. And don't do that, guys. Don't look up your crush. Keep it a mystery in the past.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right. The second type of ex-boyfriend, the one that got away. Even though you're happy now, you can't help but wonder what life would have been like if you had stayed with this person. But what you can take from that, love is possible, but it's not always enough to save a relationship. So there you go. All right. The platonic friend. The breakup wasn't messy. Neither of you had enough feelings invested to hate each other, and you still hang out as friends. What he teaches you, some relationships might not work out, but they could lead to awesome friendships. And I think we all have some of those, right? A couple.
Yeah.
The ex with benefits, you talked about this. What he teaches you, plenty of new things in bed, because if you're going to sleep together, why not experiment a little? True?
Why not?
Okay, the Benny guy. The one-sided soulmate. One can't just let go. What he teaches you. Do you have any one-sided soulmates? Maybe. Even if you want to love someone as much as they love you, you can't force your feelings. Letting someone go truly could be the nicest thing you can do for them. So it could happen. Who knows who's out there thinking you're the one. Maybe you're the one that got away, Julian. What are you laughing at? What? Something on my nose? What?
No, I think it's cute. All of these are cute.
You're laughing at something else. I'm going to find out in post. You probably nothing. All right. The forgotten ex. You never really think about this guy. You often forget you even dated. What he teaches you. You might feel really strongly about someone when you're in the moment, but down the line, you'll probably realize he wasn't as important as you thought he was. And that's fine. Feelings tend to cloud this fact. I do forget exes now. I mean, but they're more like shorty ones, not the longies, right? Because my memory, it's just a long time ago. The embarrassing ex. You wish you could forget you dated him, but no luck. You have a few of these. What he teaches you, we all need a wake-up call at times when we're veering off track.
Wait, what do you mean I have a few of these?
You just explained your nihilist and your Fast Eddie. And then your tuna can guy. You dated that one guy that
gun trunk
bodybuilder.
No, the Florida gun trunk. Yeah, the tuna cans. You're right. Yeah. He came in and showed me all of his guns. And then he talked about Trump. Oh.
Okay. The on again, off again ex. You've probably mistaken him for the one that got away, so you're always up for giving him another shot. However, that shot is always blown. Common mistake, but if it's not working time after time, chances are it wasn't meant to be, and you should break the cycle. See, this could have been Dave, but it worked out. So the on again, off again. Do some work, folks, on yourself. Get rid of that guy. All right.
Yourself.
Or girl. The ghost. After you broke up, he fell off the planet by ghosting you. This guy made sure you weren't friends on social media anymore. Have you been ghosted? Have you had that happen?
I've had to do it to a couple of weirdos.
You've had to do it. Yeah. Ghosting didn't really exist back when I was dating, really. There's one ex that finally stopped taking my calls and emails, and but I heard from a friend of a friend that he had like all my stuff. Like I broke up with him, and so he was still like, maybe I was the one that got away or whatever. So he still had a little thing of all my stuff, and his wife didn't like it and made him get rid of it, and made him like, no more Christmas cards, no more phone calls, no more whatever. Yeah.
Which you still had your stuff?
No, just like this? Letters and notes and stuff like that. I can't say that. I don't know.
I do. Really? Oh,
okay.
Snap.
I don't know.
Billy Idol crashed in his front yard in Hollywood.
All right,
just
I'm
tell
going
you
to
that
take this
much.
out too. Okay, this is for Patreons only. We're divulging secrets that I don't know if we
Good,
should.
because I flashed my boobs a second ago.
That's what you did. You jerk.
No, that was something else.
Oh, what?
But I did. I just felt this impulse and I did it. I'm sorry. And I was right in the middle of you saying something important. Arrgh! I need to
Stop
get
it.
out of
You
my
need
house.
to get out. You're too flashy. You need to like. All right. One last one. Let's see. The overanalyzer. This one's still pretty damaged and likely single. What he teaches you, there is such a thing as too much closure. Picking apart a relationship doesn't really help because you're stuck in the past instead of moving on and seeing what else is out there. Mm-hmm. Oh, the married ex.
Or are you looking at me like that's me, the analyzer?
You kind of like to analyze past relationships with the people.
You're
a
right.
little.
Okay, well, so what do? You move on, huh?
Yeah, you move on.
Oh.
You're not, you got to think about the present and the future.
Well, I do now.
Yeah, you're good now.
Done very well. That's why
Yeah.
I'm taking so much time off. 3.5 years I've taken off of anything.
Wow, has it been? Yeah, it's almost as old as our podcast. Your dry spell. This is good.
Real dry.
I was sick. All right, the married ex. If you really like this guy, you might be a little heartbroken about not being the one he chose to wife, but learn to be patient. Marriage could happen to you, but things happen at different paces for different people. I have not dated a married person. Oh, like your ex got married right after you, that kind of thing. All right. The gay ex. Have you ever dated someone who turned gay? Not turned gay, but who was gay, who came out after?
I don't think so, but there's a couple who I question.
Mm.
No, not really. That's not true. No.
You had your
What about you?
You had the spiritual sex guy who dabbled in both.
That did he?
Remember you
I don't
told me
remember.
he had sex with a guy once, and you were like, "That's cool," and I was like, "What? Doesn't that tell you something?" And you were like way more open than I was. I was like,
See, I don't even remember.
yeah. I think he was a swinger. He liked those teddy bear picnic underwear of yours, so he liked boys too. The one you burned. Okay, this is the last one. In this case, you're the one who did something wrong. You try not to think about it anymore because it just makes you feel like a bad person. What he teaches you, not to make the same mistake in your future relationships, and why what you did was wrong. So very interesting stuff. Lots of lessons to be learned from our exes. Guys out there, girls out there, tell us about your exes. I want to hear more stories because I think it's pretty fascinating. I love picking apart all this stuff. Like, what does it teach you? And have you found the love of your life after? Or do you pine away for them still? We will keep going with this. I love these because I have a million things I wanted to talk about, but we don't have enough time. I want to talk about friends getting a divorce, how to support them. I want to talk about if you're the one that got away. What about if our kids start wanting to date? How do we deal with that? You still think about your ex, even though you're totally over him. I mean, there's lots to unpack here.
Analyze.
Yes, let's analyze it. Analyze this. Weens, close it out for us. What? Anything you want to say? To all the exes, to all the loves I've loved before. Go ahead.
All my exes live in Texas. What else is about exes?
That one. Sexy Exy number 9. I don't know.
Goodbye.
Oh, no. Do you have anything
No,
else?
I just wanted to say to all the boys I've loved before, you are all wonderful people. A couple of you are jerks, but most of you are very nice. You know who are the nice ones. If you're listening, that's you.
Yeah.
Since you're listening. If you're a jerk, you're not listening, therefore I can call you a jerk. And you are. Especially Fast Eddie and who was that other guy? Oh yeah, Gun Trunk. Forget about that guy. Too many cans of tuna. He was not fun. All right, stop lifting weights. Settle down. Get in touch with your feelings, you jerks. I love you. What about you, Joe? Please, can you close it out?
I know. No, I look back fondly on the relationships, and I did learn from each one, and everything does work out for a reason. I don't know, all that generic Hallmark crap, but I really did. I do have love for all those guys, except for the jerks. You're right, except for asshole. But even he could jump into underwear with 2 feet, and that's a feat. That's a skill.
A feat.
We need to all, okay, everybody, tonight when you're
Jump in
undressing,
your underwear,
you're dressing,
whatever that means.
in your little room, I want you to strip down. I want the waggly parts to be able to waggle, and I want you to jump into your underwear with both feet. Hold them up about your knee height. That's what he did. And he jumped in with both feet.
Knee height.
Did not fall. Nothing caught on
Here
him.
we
He
go.
jumped right in. Okay, she's on her bed, you guys. She just took off. She's got tights on. I'm not going to lie here. And she's going to jump in as if she's nude.
Okay,
She's
here they
holding up some
go. I'm going to see how
striped
amazing
boxers.
this is.
Okay, here she
Here
goes.
they are, holes open. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
One,
Here she goes, folks.
2, 3.
She just fell so hard. Her whole rig flopped. She's a mess. It's all over.
All
This
right,
is the
it's
end
hard.
of the episode.
I understand.
It's hard. Asshole Dave gets major kudos for that.
All
You
right.
guys, thank you for listening to Mouse and Weens. This has been a fun one. We are available on all podcast players. Please tell your friends. That's the best way we can grow. We're also on Patreon if you guys want all the outtakes and bloopers and get to choose our next episode topics. We also post lots of fun little videos and things like that. So head over to patreon.com/mouseandweens. What else? We are on all the social media at Mouse and Weens everywhere, including Clubhouse. This is a new thing we want to try, but you got to spell it out. Mouse, A-N-D, Weens. And we love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us. And we have so much fun doing this. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
2 minutes on me, 98 minutes on you. 2 minutes on me, 98 minutes on you. All the time in the world, we just talk about you. 2 minutes on me, 98 minutes on you.
Do you like 80s television? Of course you do. Do you like helicopters? Of course you do. Do you like men serenading eagles by the waterfront while playing cello? Yes. Yes, you do. If you'd like to hear more about helicopters and cellos, please be sure and tune in to Champa and Klein the Airwolf Years every week on your favorite podcast service. Join hosts Greg and Dave as they discuss every single episode of the classic 1980s television series Airwolf. Be sure and subscribe today.
You've been listening to a podcast of the Podfix Network. Discover more audible gems like this at podfixnetwork.com. Make sure to catch up-to-the-minute network shenanigans by following @Podfix on Twitter, official_Podfix on Instagram, @Podfix Network on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to Podfix Presents wherever you choose to find podcasts. The Podfix